Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden packs? Look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable MUT coins on the market. And don't forget to use code Ferdy at checkout for 5% off. What's going on, guys? Today we have another episode or another segment or whatever you want. I don't even know what to call these, of the Worth It series. And today we're going to go through every single card, or at least touch on every single card that came out today for Gridiron Guardians or Mid-Iron Guardians Part 2. I did talk about it in the Trevor Lawrence gameplay that I already dropped earlier today. But this drop was pathetic from EA. I mean, this drop was bad. Right when you think EA is about to turn things around, they come out there and they do this. So let's get started with, I guess we'll go through the 81s briefly. Not going to spend too much time here unless one does stand out to me. And to be honest, none of them really stand out to me. None of them really at all are like even kind of budget beasts. And some people have been asking me like, where's the budget B series? But there really hasn't been any good budget cards come out since Campus Heroes, and that was August. That was probably like one of the best, budget drops we've seen all year. And it's not even close. But Bryce Hall for the Jets team, even Chuba Hubbard 83 speed is nothing crazy. Josh Palmer 85 speed. So nothing really too crazy as far as budget goes. I don't hate this Brian Allen card. I don't hate it. He's got 88 strength, which is actually pretty top tier right now in this game. Also, a pretty decent run block, pass block stats, a pretty good mix there. So Brian Allen for a center is pretty good with 62 speed for an 86 overall. But you guys see what I mean? Like 83s, 81s, nothing really worth going after in this promo. And then unfortunately, the 86 overalls are going for 90K to complete these sets. And, we have an 84 speed edge rusher, Dennis Gardeck, who's actually been playing really well for the Cardinals. This guy's actually going crazy. But yeah, good finesse moves. And what is he, an outside linebacker? Outside linebacker. This card's actually pretty nice. I do not hate this card at all. The only problem is he only has one trait on yes, as you guys can see right here. Only one trait on yes. And also 73 block shed. But decent pass rush. If you've got a Cardinals team, I mean, go with it, man. Go with it. And we also do have a new Chase Young card as well. Chase Young cards, yeah. So Chase Young right here. These are considered perfect traits in Madden. You have big hitter, yes. High motor, yes. Bull rush, yes. Spin move, yes. Swim move, yes. So as far as a pass rusher goes, again, I wish these 86s were a little bit cheaper. But 93K, 85 speed, 88 acceleration off the edge. You can kind of pair him with that early game core elite Montez Sweat. Have both those guys off an edge. Even Bruce Smith probably for a Washington team. So you have Chase on one side, Bruce on the other. Not a bad little 1-2 right there. And Chase Young, even decent against the run too. I wish his actual stats were a little bit better as far as finesse move and power moves go, but perfect trades. And Chase Young's gonna be one of those guys throughout the year when he gets upgrades that you're gonna want to go after. And he hopefully will get higher overall upgrades, like champion level upgrades. Because if he does, yeah, perfect team cam. I mean, not team cams, perfect traits for Chase Young. So he will have good cards throughout this year. Going to page number 2, basically the rest of the 86s and the 89 overalls. Mike Owenu. Am I going after Owenu? Similar stats to the center that we talked about. 51 speed definitely isn't the best for a guard. If you run a lot of inside zone, your guard's very important for almost making contact with the, almost double teaming with the center and then getting to that second level. So you want to have that good speed. And I did talk about that on Monday with the Charles Cross card, where having speed is very important on an offensive lineman. Obviously having stats never hurts, but if you also can have that speed, it's beautiful. And he just doesn't have that. But yeah, pretty decent stats for Mike Owenu. And Patriots theme team, they always have a pretty good offensive line, so this upgrade doesn't surprise me. We have Lucas Niang, a lot of offensive linemen and pass rushers here in this drop, even for the 86s. But Lucas Niang, I mean, he does get a decent boost from run block finesse. I don't know if the Chiefs theme team needed. Maybe the Chiefs theme team did need a tackle. I'll check on that real quick. Did they need a right tackle? Right tackle, right tackle. Where's right tackle? Yeah, no, they didn't actually. They already had Jawan Taylor. So yeah, this upgrade pretty much does nothing for anybody at all. Next up, we got Trayvon Moehrig, and he's on the thumbnail as one of the guys that I believe is worth it. And Moehrig's really good, 6'1", 202. And the main stat I'm looking for here is that speed and acceleration. The jumping's not that great. And one thing I've noticed, I've played against that new Troy Polamalu card a pretty good amount. And for safeties, like animating in the box, even with Sean Taylor, he's got crazy jumping. So yeah, having good jumping on a user is quite important. I do think Moehrig is a good user just because he's able to stop the run pretty well. He has good hit power, good pursuit, good tackling. And if you have a Raiders team, I don't hate playing this card over the top. If you run a lot of light formations like dime, dollar, things like that, like I've been saying, you rely on your safeties to tackle and help you out in the run game. So a guy like Trayvon Moehrig, who, you know, doesn't have the best zone or man coverage, he does get M-Force. So if you pair him with Isaiah Simmons, you can get some pretty decent boost. Like +1, like +1 zone, and they also do get some pursuit boost as well. I believe I have the picture here. They get a +5 pursuit, +5 tackling, +5 break sack. So Moehrig with that strat card with Isaiah Simmons kind of fully boosted up is actually a pretty good looking over the top safety. And 202, 6'1", can play over the top, can be a good user. But mainly on a Raiders team, if there is, I didn't really look through the promo today, but if there is a way to get a free 86 overall BND or something like that, Moehrig's a pretty good option if you are running a budget team. Next up, we have our champions and LTDs. We have Lawrence Guy here. I don't know what the vision was for EA Sports dropping a Lawrence Guy. It's a Gridiron Guardians promo, and this man is not guarding no gridiron. I mean, he's big. He's 6'4", 315. He would definitely push me around a little bit, or actually a good amount. But Lawrence Guy, when you think of Gridiron Guardians, look at last year's promo. There's Justin Herbert, there's DK Metcalf, there's Eric Dickerson. There's guys like that. Lawrence Guy with 78 speed is not someone I imagined coming out. And he's mid as well. For an 89 overall to have these pass rush stats, yes, he's good against the run, but we all know they drop cards that are good at both. You know what I mean? Like, they drop, like, look at, DeMarcus Ware. He can do both. So there's no reason to go after a guy that can really only do one thing. His traits, 1 of 3, they're not that good. High motors, at least on yes, but you know, if you are going to get Lawrence Guy for your team, I would play him at defensive tackle. If you have one of these 4 theme teams, put him at defensive tackle. He actually played pretty good there. He's definitely not going to be an edge guy. He's a defensive tackle. Next up, speaking of defensive tackles, we have Vita Vea. Vita Vea is a good pickup because he's our first inside stuff in the game right now. 2 AP inside stuff. So if you're having problems against the run, Vita Vea is probably worth it, I would say. He's our first inside stuff. So if you have a say, a Buccaneers team, you have 2 good defensive tackles already. You have Vita Vea and Warren Sapp now. But yeah, Vita with the inside stuff is definitely a card I'm thinking about trying out. His price tag's still a little bit higher than where I want to see it. But yeah, I do like the Vita card, man. I do like the Vita card. And I'm not touching, right now, I'm going to say this right now. I will say some cards are worth it, some cards are not. This promo is really bad. I mean, this drop was really bad. And right before Most Fear, right before potential Team Diamonds coming out, I wouldn't touch these cards. I wouldn't spend your coins. I would sit on the coins. There's no one that's that worth going after. Like, for example, Vita's our first inside stuff, but I'm sure with Most Fear, we're going to see probably 2 to 3 more inside stuff guys come out across different promos. So Vita's good for now if you're competing in money games or whatever. So go try inside stuff. But other than that, 400K, just, yeah, he's unique, but for that price, I'd wait for him to get down to maybe like 4. That's probably like about where Trevor Lawrence is. I mean, he could easily drop another 100K. But let's talk about Jermani Pratt, a middle linebacker here, 86 speed, 89 acceleration, 82 agility. He's got 73 COD. So what COD is going to do on a linebacker and a user is going to make the card feel that much more clunky. He does have really good acceleration as well as good zone coverage. And I talked about it yesterday with the, what's his name? Terrell Bernard card. I think Terrell Bernard is still better than Pratt. So I probably would put Pratt at number 3, number 4 middle linebacker in the game. But again, you're not typically using linebackers this year. You're just not using linebackers. So Jermaine Pratt, however you say his name, probably not worth it. And he's also a champion. He's a champion as well, so that's crazy. Next up, we have Drew Dalmon. Drew Dalmon, I have no idea who this guy is. He's a center, but 70 speed is actually pretty good. If we go over here and we sort by speed for our centers, 70's pretty good. Dalmon is the fastest center in the game, actually, by 4 speed. And I talk about speed all the time. So, I mean, this card, Drew Dalmon, first speed on the O-line is a W. This could have been maybe like a different name, and I would have had a little bit more appeal to it. But to be honest, 90 lead block, 90 impact block, this card is actually pretty good. 400K, I don't hate it. I don't hate this card. I didn't even realize how he's fast. He's quite fast. So 70 speed at center. Center's another position where sometimes they're just up the middle by themselves, and they need to, you know, hit safeties and hit linemen and linebackers. So having that speed is very important. And also, yeah, good stats, 90 lead block, things like that, 90 run block finesse. It all looks good on Drew Dalmon. It's actually a pretty good card right there. That's a solid looking center, solid looking offensive lineman. Next up, we have, let's talk Teron Armstead first. Teron Armstead, another offensive lineman. 72 speed, again, pretty good. Let's sort by speed and see what that's looking like compared to the other tackles. Probably, yeah, Charles Cross is faster with that 76 speed, which is a big difference between that and 72. But Teron Armstead is an LTD, so he will hold value, which obviously has value, right? It has value. He's still about 600K right now, which is quite surprising. But you see what I mean. On Drew Dalmon, he had 90 lead block, 90 impact block, and that's going to matter when you're up the middle of the field. It's going to matter as far as making that first contact with that impact block. So as far as Armstead, not even over 90 in pass block either, which definitely does surprise me. And for abilities, he should get, no edge protector even on him if you wanted to run it, which is interesting. So Trevor Armstead probably will never really be worth it. He is rocking the watch there though, looking tough. Maybe the Rolex, I don't know what that is. I'm not a watch guy, but yeah, he looks all right. I probably will never be worth it though, like I said, because of his price tag. Next up, we have Trevor Lawrence. I did a gameplay on this card earlier today. He plays fine. Is he the best QB in the game? No. Is he the second best? No. Is he the third best? No. He's probably fourth or fifth in the game right now. And for his price, looking at the quarterback position, is he worth it? No, I don't think he is. I think Luck is one. If I had to go with the number 2, it would be Mike Vick. And Mike Vick is almost half the price, or a little bit less than half the price of Trevor Lawrence. I might even go, probably will go Kyler Murray even over the Trevor Lawrence card. And I feel like there's been a big lack of just, I don't know. I feel like whatever team at EA Sports is responsible for these Thursday promos, they've been dropping the ball, because there's really no top tier Thursday promo card at any position, to be honest, besides maybe the offensive line. Like, that's really it. So is Trevor Lawrence worth it? No. If you have a Jags team, go for it. If you're a fan of him, sure. But no, I just don't see the vision on this card. Like, Warren Moon's going for what? What's Warren Moon going for? Warren Moon's going for 132K, and he's not that much worse than Trevor Lawrence. Like, look at the stats. I'm going to compare these two, actually. I want to compare these two just so you guys can see how Trevor Lawrence, there's no way in hell he's an 89 overall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, 90 throw under pressure on Warren Moon. He's faster. What's the acceleration looking like? Acceleration, okay, he has him by a pretty good amount. I didn't even realize that, but yeah, like these cards are too similar to be coming out months and months. Like, I mean, not months and months, but at least like a month apart. That's crazy. The progression in this game, it just goes to show you how crazy it is. But let's keep going here. Our final card to talk about today is Kaiir Elam, and for an LTD cornerback at 6'2", I just don't know. If you're playing zone, 91 zone coverage is really nice. If you have zone boost, you can probably get this card up to 95 zone coverage if you have the right boost and things like that. And I wish that they gave the Gridiron Guardian LTDs the same chemistries that the champions got, because if they did, I mean, this card would be really good. But on a Bills team, yeah, go for it. But will this card ever be worth it outside of a Bills team? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, we have corners quite similar to him. I mean, Deion Sanders is what, 230K, and he's better. He's better than Elam. So just to compare a couple of the guys to him. So as far as the Gridiron Guardians promo goes today, am I touching any of these cards? The only card maybe I touch for the price tags I'm seeing right now is Vita Vea. I might look at Dalmon if his price continues to fall. If I can get him for like 300 down the road, maybe, depending on what the center landscape's looking like. But I'm talking about a center right now for one of the biggest promos that we should have seen all year. But instead, you know, they did this. So Gridiron Guardians, if you didn't make it to the end of the video, I appreciate you hit that like button, turn on those notifications. But yeah, as always, I will see you boys in the next one.